Today on Armchair Operator Guns and Gear Reviews, we're just going to do a quick 1,000 round update of this beautiful firearm right here, the SIG P226 X Five Classic. Let's get into it.
Never stop, forget it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love.
What's going on, everybody? It's your big homie, the Armchair Operator, and welcome to today's video. But first, if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate y'all coming through, spending some time with me as I talk about these different products. Hopefully I can give y'all some information, some value, or maybe just some entertainment, or maybe just a little eye candy for the subject matter that we all basically love to enjoy, right? And if you're returning to the channel, thank you so much for coming back. I really definitely appreciate y'all. I appreciate the support. So hopefully you all will continue to enjoy your stay. So I took a little bit of time off and just did a little bit of work in the background, making some more content, doing some more testing with a couple of firearms. And I got some more footage. I got some more content coming for y'all very shortly in the near future. So definitely want to stay tuned. In particular, my Smith & Wesson M&P 10mm. So I'm not going to drop any spoilers on that gun, but let me just say the results might surprise y'all. But anyway, today we're talking about this particular gun, the SIG P226 X Five Classic. First thing, before we get into the gun, we gotta do a clear check, right? So let's do exactly that. So as you can see, firearm is clear, magazine is clear, and this gun is empty. And we are filming in a safe and controlled environment. I do not have any live ammunition anywhere in the review space. So let's talk about this gun. So if you all have been following the channel for a little while, you'll know that this particular gun is one of the ones that I've been really looking to get my hand on for some time. This is basically what some would consider, including myself, like the pinnacle of the SIG P226 platform. And for those of y'all who don't know, the SIG P226 is essentially SIG's double single action full-size 9mm handgun. It's been out for decades. It has been used in both military and law enforcement circles the world over. So the P226 platform is a very proven and reliable platform in and of itself. And there are many different flavors of the 226. I personally, and what a number of people would also consider, that this particular version, the X5, is like the top of the line as far as the 226 goes, at least as far as I am aware of right now, as of, what is this, March of 2024. And they have different versions of the 226 X5. This particular one is the classic one, which you could tell by the curved trigger and the wood panelish grips, as you can see here, and the standard takedown lever. So really quickly, you have this particular version. You have this gun in Legion Gray. Now the Legion version of this, if I'm not mistaken, has a flatter trigger. It's also in the Legion Gray Cerakote. I almost said paint scheme, but really Cerakote, or finish, for lack of a better way of putting it. And it also has a gas pedal over here in place of the standard takedown lever. And they also have the 226 X5 that has a built-in port in the barrel itself. So that particular one, they actually cut the barrel, well, the barrel stops at 4.4 inches, and they built a compensator port into the slide. So the slide is overall 5 inches on that gun, but the barrel itself is 4.4 inches. This particular gun, the X5 Classic, you have a full 5-inch barrel with, of course, a full-length slide. And this is a match-grade bull barrel, just in case you all want to know that. So I already really did a tabletop review of this gun, so I don't want to get too far into the weeds of the features. But basically, you have like your competition-oriented sights. At the top here, you got your blacked out adjustable rear sight in the back. It's adjustable for both elevation and windage. And you have your front fiber optic sight here. It's a green fiber optic sight. You have ambidextrous frame mounted safety here on both sides here, of course, hence term ambidextrous. And you have a single-sided slide stop here. The slide stop itself is not ambidextrous. Let's see, we have your magazine release here, which is reversible. The gun ships with 320 round SIG P226 magazines, and these magazines all have the +2 extension on the bottom of them. What I like about these particular magazines too is that you got that little divot right there, right? So if for whatever reason, if this were to get stuck, you got that good purchase to rip the mag out of the gun. So that's cool. One of the reasons why I chose this model over, say, the 226 X Five Legion, basically is the look of this gun. It really has that classic handgun look, which I really dig. But it also has all of the modern features that anybody would need in a competition or a duty style gun, in my opinion, because you got your Picatinny rail. It is optics cut, just like all of SIG's other handguns, you know, that have the optics cut from the factory. It fits the Leupold Delta Point Pro footprint, which means you can mount your SIG Romeo optics, your Delta Point Pros, without any adapter plates whatsoever. If you want to add, say, an RMR footprint plate or some other type of pistol footprint plate, you will have to buy an adapter plate for it and mount it. And they are available for this gun, so you just have to shop around if that's what you want to do. As far as me personally, what I'm going to do with this gun, I'm going to keep it basic iron sights probably for a little bit. I like the iron sight picture of this particular gun. And not only that, I like a co-witness. I like to be able to co-witness. Now, I know that they do have adapter plates that you can co-witness, but like I said, I like the look of this, so I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. But maybe in the future, I might consider just running a red dot on the back or looking for a co-witness plate, because I really do like co-witness sights on all of my firearms. I prefer co-witness sights. That's just a me thing. I like to have that backup just in case. But so yeah, that's as far as that goes. Let's see. Oh, now one of the big differences between this and the standard 226, like I said before, the 226 is a double action, single action gun. This particular gun is a single action only gun, and this gun is basically more so geared towards your competition market. And you can definitely tell that by the weight of this particular gun. So let me just weigh this gun real quick. I got my scale here. You really can't see it, but I'm gonna weigh it real fast. And unloaded with an unloaded magazine, it is 44.94 ounces. So this your big boy. He got a little weight to him. And it definitely shows on the range when I'm shooting the pistol. So let me just get into that real quick. So, one thing before we get into that, the trigger. The trigger basically comes in like around a consistent 3-pound trigger. Now, this trigger is actually adjustable, and there are two places where you can adjust the trigger. There is a screw here, which you can actually remove the trigger shoot if you wanted to. And there's I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little tiny screw up in the base, in the back of the trigger there. Hence that little hole right here in the trigger guard, so you could adjust the actual weight and I believe the length of pull of the trigger. So you could tune this trigger if you wanted to, but out of the box from the factory is coming in at around 3 pounds or so. So it's a very light trigger. As far as my personal handguns go, it's the lightest trigger out of all the handguns that I own currently. So anyway, oh, of course, and you got your full length Picatinny rail. So anyway, on the range, shooting this gun, how would I describe this gun? Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to shoot. And one of the big reasons for that is, like I said, the heft of the gun. But not only that, you got yourself a full-length grip, and you have extra purchase because you have these ambidextrous safeties on either side. So as you're aiming down the sights, you can really get that thumb on the back here like so to really help keep the firearm flat, or rather I should say aid its return to zero. Speaking of the return to zero, so 6-hour handguns are notorious for their high bore axes. And for those who really don't know, generally when people are talking about the bore axis of the gun, they're really talking about the muzzle flip, because the higher the bore axis, the more the firearm is going to go like that in your hand, because you have all that weight pushing back and it's essentially pushing it upwards. So once you get more used to shooting different type of handguns, you'll get to notice the bore axis right away. Like Glocks have a relatively low bore axis just by the height of the slide and how the slide actually mounts onto the frame. SIGs have higher bore axis because, as you can see, the slide itself is pretty tall in relation to the frame itself. I say that to say this: when it comes to this particular gun, if I were to compare this to say like my DH3 or my M17 when I had it, the bore axis, at least to me, is really not that noticeable. Part of the reason is not just the weight of the gun, but how they balance the weight of the gun. And in my earlier video, I actually did like a disassembly where you could see just how beefy like the frame itself is on the gun. So that really, matter of fact, let me just, to keep the YouTube overlords happy, let me just illustrate to y'all what I'm talking about. I can't show it on video, but wow, look at that magic. Oh, please excuse the dirty frame. I haven't cleaned this firearm in quite a bit, so, but anyway, whatever. Anyhow, take a look at this. This is what I'm talking about. See, this is just the frame by itself. And without the slide, this frame is very well balanced in the hand. But look at how it's machined. All that, right? All that metal. That is just solid machining right there. So unlike a lot of your other, I would say your more competition style guns, even some of your other higher end guns where a lot of the weight is in the slide and barrel, this particular gun, like I said, is very well balanced. The other thing about it is the recoil system. So most guns just has one recoil spring. This gun actually has two. You have the main spring right here, and I guess, I don't know if you call this like a little buffer spring in the back, whatever the case may be, but you have these two springs, and essentially what that buffer spring does, it helps to absorb some of that recoil. So all those things put together really makes for a gun that, well, like I said, one is very well sprung, number one, that plus the magazines, but also it doesn't feel very flippy in the hand. Now, for those of you who have, say, the X5 Legion that has the gas pedal, I'm sure that you all could attest to just how easy it is to get this gun to stay flat and return to zero quickly. And even this particular gun is still easy to do. It's a little bit harder because you don't have much purchase right there, but you do have a little nub where your support hand thumb can really ride that nub and to help this muzzle track back onto its target after each shot. So honestly, this gun might be heavy and it might be a SIG and it might have high bore axes and all that, but the whole point of the matter is all these things put together make for a very pleasurable shooting experience. So that is a definite bonus point, right? I mean, that's important. Let me just say that it's important, especially at the price point of this gun. This gun cost me a lot of beer cans. It's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. And the good thing about it is it's not built cheaply either. And spoiler alert, it's reliable. So let's talk about the reliability of this gun. So as of the recording of this video, I have a little over 1,000 rounds through the gun. I think it's like 1,025 or something like that. I don't know, I haven't looked at the spreadsheet, but it's over 1,000 rounds. And since I've had the gun, I've only really cleaned it once. I've only cleaned this gun one time, and I only did that when I first got it because, one, I have a habit of lubing all my firearms when I get it. That's a me thing. I'm sure a lot of gun owners do the same thing. But not only that, I wanted to know how to break it down too for field stripping and maintenance and all that. So that's another reason why I did it. That was back in early February. 1,000 rounds in, you see. Oh, and I think I added a little bit of lubrication because it kind of sat for a little while. So I just wanted to lube it just in case, you know, just to make sure that it's slick and it's cool. But I didn't really use a lot of that. But my point is, 1,000 rounds, 1 cleaning, 0 malfunctions. I'm gonna say it again. 0 goose egg, zip, zilch, nada, no failures. And that's really good. I really like that. But I just wanted to say that, I just wanted to put that out there, that this is gonna be very reliable for me. Individual results may vary. Again, you're talking about a machined instrument, something that's built by man. Nothing's perfect. And any mechanical construct, I don't care what it is, I don't care how expensive it is or whatever the case may be, may have an issue at some point or may have problems right away. But in my experience with this particular gun, I haven't had any malfunctions whatsoever. And I have put a lot of different rounds through this gun. I've shot 115 MadTech, 115 Blazer Brass through it. I've put some Federal 124 grains. I've put a few Spear Gold Dots, not a whole lot because those carry rounds are not cheap, but I have fired a few through them. And this gun has ate every single type of ammo that I've put through it, and it kept on trucking. So overall, I'm very happy with this gun. I really like this gun. This was one that I've been wanting to get my hands on for some time now. And man, listen, I'm in love with it. This gun is easily up there in terms of my shooting performance and just overall fun. It's up there with my Staccato and my Rival and my DH3 easily. Matter of fact, I shot this side by side with the DH3, and needless to say, this is far more enjoyable than the DH3. Don't get me wrong, I love my DH3, but this right here is just a whole nother level. But you know what? I'd like to know what you all think. What do you think about the SIG P226 in general? Have you had a chance to get your hands on a 226 X Five? Whether you're talking about the Classic, whether you're talking about the Legion, are you looking to grab one? Let me know down in the comment section. You know what I mean? Give your boys some thoughts on the SIG P226 or the X5 or whatever the case may be. And, you know, we'll just take it from there. But as always, y'all, definitely thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Spend some time with your big homie. I appreciate it. I also got a versus video that's coming up featuring the 226, and that's going to be going up against my rival, my Mechanic Rival steel frame. So we got expensive gun versus budget gun. So we're going to put them together. Y'all know I got to do it because they say the Mechanic Rival is supposed to compete with the big dogs. So we're going to see if it compete with the big dogs. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. This is your big homie, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.